and thank you for joining us. My name is Stella Olivia Kikoyo, and I'm the editor-in-chief of the Stellar Woman magazine. Stellar Woman magazine is here to bring you thriving women's stories, knowledge, and experiences so that you too can learn one or two things, be inspired, make a change, and thrive in your life. We believe that knowledge has power, or knowledge is power, of course, if acted upon. So we are here to transfer knowledge from one woman to another. We believe that this is a form of brightening up the world. As one woman taps into that knowledge, they will brighten up their lives. And that means their families, their communities, and the world at large. So we are grateful for all the women that join us here and share their knowledge and their expertise. Today, we are very fortunate to be joined by the amazing Rachel B. Lee. Rachel is an amazing stellar woman, and you're going to find out how she makes everything possible for all the women and men she interacts with and her great impact in the world. Rachel is a brand marketing lady boss, as you're going to find out more. She's so much into personal branding, building your personal brand, developing a LinkedIn strategy, and also helping you in developing your confidence as a human being so that you can also create greatness in your life. So we're here to learn about how she came about to be the stellar woman that she is, so that you too can tap into that knowledge, get one thing or two to make a change in your life and thrive and become a stellar woman that you're meant to be. So welcome, Rachel.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Very good, thank you. So we are going to start, although I've made that introduction, but we always prefer that you tell us about who Rachel B. Lee is.
Well, I hope we have a long time. Well, you did a really great job introducing myself. I am your branding lady boss, and really, what does that mean? To me, it's always been about people. For me, I have always loved marketing and I've always loved business because it's a way of creating and bringing value to people. And so I have a very educated background. I have an undergraduate degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. In business, I went there. And then I also got my MBA from the University of Texas McCombs School of Business. And that's what brought me to Austin. And in all of my learnings and education, that idea that people and human connectivity is the most important thing that we can do and create in business. I worked at a marketing agency, worked a lot on multicultural marketing. With the MBA, I was able to shift into technology with Microsoft. And so I worked more B2B, Microsoft Partner Network, led all sorts of strategies. And then I was at Gartner for a few years as a brand manager. And in all of that, Stella, having an MBA, agency to MBA to corporate, I felt a different calling inside my soul. I felt like there was a greater purpose for Rachel. And in 2020 was like many of us, with the COVID and being at home, was really just reevaluating. I always kind of thought about entrepreneurship and was doing a lot of transformational work, and with all of that support, made the leap in 2021, June, to leave corporate and to partner with my husband, Joshua B. Lee, and Standout Authority. And so today we are focused on really revolutionizing the way in which we communicate online, bringing human conversation and interactions in the way which we communicate on social platforms, in particular on LinkedIn. And so that's a little bit of what we're doing in terms of Standout Authority and my past, and I'll take a pause.
Yes, Yes, thank you very much. I think you've given us a lot there, and you've covered something about your backstory, because the next question was going to be, what's your backstory? I don't know if there's anything you need to add there, but definitely you've covered a lot in telling us who you are and what you're about, and developing all the way to co-founding Standout Authority. Thank you for that. Do you have anything to add to your backstory?
I think the other kind of personal side is that I'm a stepmother. I became a stepmother at 30 years old. Now Jaden, he is 13 and Skylar is 10. So she's, in 5th grade, he's in 8th grade, and being a young stepmom and a blended family has a lot of challenges and growth that many women can relate to, wherever they are. And I'm on a fertility journey, specifically because we're speaking to women here. I've been going through IVF and experiencing what that means to become a birth mother.
Yeah.
And be a businesswoman and be a stepmom, all the ands, the many hats. And a wife and a dog mom.
And a daughter. I saw your dad. I saw your dad's in picture. So yeah.
All the things, right? That is what being stellar is about.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for adding that onto that, because then we build who you are really and what you're about. It's just beyond the work. You're also going home to deal with so many things with it too. Teenagers, or one of them is not a teenager. One is 10, one is 13.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the preteen and and the teen already. So yeah, that's a lot of work. So well done on that. Thank you for that. We would like to know what your childhood dream career was.
My which career?
Childhood dream career?
Oh, yes. My childhood dream career, I thought that I was going to be editor-in-chief of a fashion magazine. Yeah, so originally I thought that I would, work at like Teen Vogue, right? Or, I love reading all the magazines. I still do. And I think what's interesting now as I reflect back at that aspiration was I always had this sort of creativity and a relevance inside culture, right? And writing, right? Journalism. I actually thought I would maybe be in journalism and go to that school. And then I did the business school and business side instead. And I think that's always really interesting as I reflect, and as many people, when I go through personal branding and go through really thinking about, who you are. At that younger age, I still loved writing and creating. And now I am a content creator, right? I'm part of the LinkedIn creator program, create a ton of content, do a ton of writing for our clients, for other, speaking, all of that. So it's kind of like you kind of weave the thread inside your life, those things from your childhood always end up being something that carries through even as you get older without realizing it.
That's very true. And I think Steve Jobs used to say that it's connecting the dots backwards that creates the meaning. Yes. Yeah. True meaning is through the connection of the dots backwards. And I can see that, and I can relate to what you're talking about. Definitely. I can see it on your LinkedIn profile. That is actually now coming out clearly. Yeah. Thank you. So I know that you've already told us about Standout Authority. Tell us maybe in clear terms what the mission is. I know you blended it in telling us who you are and what you're about, but now in clear terms, what's the mission for Standout Authority?
Absolutely. Our mission is to really bring human to human connections online. And so when you think about all the mass messaging, all the demand gen, all of the selling people, our thought is to stop selling and to start connecting with real humans, real conversation, real people. So we work with executives at companies or high seven-figure entrepreneurs and business owners who are heart-centered, conscious leaders, have something to say, and need support in really crafting that message, that narrative. They want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to create opportunities for themselves. And so that's what building the personal brand is: creating content, creating a story, and then actually driving conversations through messaging. So we do all of that on behalf of our clients as an agency. Mm-hmm. We also guide and coach and train people that are more working professionals or solopreneurs who, want to do it themselves, don't have a budget to have somebody work on behalf of their voice. And we have a community, and that's actually a Web3 based community where you can pay with credit card or with get our coin. So we have a Standout Authority coin, and in our community, we're guiding and coaching people on how to build your personal brand, how to create content, how to use organic marketing, all the different pieces to really attract clients, get hired, get new opportunities, but all starting with you, the human.
Yes. Yes.
The human behind the company, not the company.
Not the company. Yes. Thank you. That's the connection of humans online, but it's heart to heart. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. So you focus on your personal brand development. Please share with our subscribers what this is and why it's important today to develop a personal brand.
Well, here's the thing. You're developing your personal brand every day, all the time, whether you know it or like it or not. We got onto this call, right? You're looking at my hair, you're looking at my pillows, you're looking at the background, you were shifting lights. I see all these gorgeous flags in the background. Wow, she must be very cultured, right? You're signaling things to me without saying anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And people are getting an impression of us within the first second of interacting. And so whether it's on a Zoom call, in person, on social media, when you see the post and you're scrolling, people are getting an impression of who you are. The question is, are you going to control that narrative, or is somebody else? Are you going to be thinking about where you are today and where you want to go? What's your vision for now? How are you going to get there? Who's going to help get you there? And the pieces of our personal brand are ultimately how you see yourself and how others see you. It's both. Yeah. And so often we're so focused, we're either not focused on how people perceive us, therefore people are saying things we do or don't like, or we're not focused on really how we see ourselves. We're so focused on what other people think that we're not being really authentic to ourselves. And that's what we've seen so much over the last 2 years with the great resignation, great reevaluation, great reshuffle, like all the re's. Yes. Are because people are in the midst of figuring out, what is my personal brand? Who am I? Why do I do what I do? Who am I serving? What do I care about? And so in every moment, we're working on our personal brand. The question is, how intentional are you being in your representation of yourself, from like your inner self and who you really want to be, and how you want the world to see you. So that's my belief with personal branding. And I think that the power is now truly getting more in the people's hands. Employees are deciding. Yes. They don't want a company that's not going to prioritize their mental health or the flexibility that they want or the pay that they want. Wasn't
Yes.
like that a few years ago. You just kind of dealt with it. Or
Yes.
maybe they don't want to deal with the lack of diversity and inclusion. They don't want to stand behind a company that's not actually standing for these things. All that's happening.
Yes.
And as that's happening, people are really realizing, wow, like I have something to say. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to control my life. I want to control my narrative. And that's why it's just such an interesting time for us to just sit and really think about what are we trying to achieve here individually? And then how am I going to best represent myself in every moment?
In every moment. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. That is quite wide for anyone to actually understand. It was a full lesson in there. Thank you very much. So if we have to break it down, do you have key aspects that someone can put on their fingers, say, for example, when it comes to a strong personal brand? What are those key aspects that they would need to focus on?
Sure. So there are 4 key pieces of defining your voice, building your personal brand. Okay, there's 4 pieces of it. 1, what are your skills? Your skills. And when I say your skills, I mean your superpowers. And I don't mean a long list of 50 things that you do. I mean your superpowers. If you don't know what they are, go ask other people, what would you come to me for? How would I be able to help you? What do you think my superpower is? And these should be harder skills versus softer skills. So a lot of people might say, I'm a really resilient person, and I believe you. I bet you are. However, I want skills that there's evidence and there's validation, and it's things I could see in a job description.
Okay.
Because that's what helps give us validity when we're building our personal brand. Sure. And we want to be a valid, expert-driven thought leader.
Yeah.
So what are our skills? And that inherently is going to position us differently.
Yes.
So what are our skills? 2, who is our audience?
Yes.
So who can uniquely connect and relate to your experiences and your background? You live in London. I don't live there. In Texas. Where were you born?
I was born in Uganda in Africa.
So you're African descent. Uganda. I was born, right? You're going to be able to speak to another kind of woman than I am.
Yes.
Right?
Sure. Yeah.
So when we think about our audience, we think about traits of who we are. We think about the way in which we work, right? Like I can talk, I was in a technology company, 2 tech companies. So like I specifically understand the tech world. Yes. And others might, like somebody working in healthcare their whole life couldn't.
Yes, sure.
Okay. So our audience, who are we talking to? And that's so important when we think about our content strategy, right? Got to be talking to somebody.
Yeah.
3rd is your differentiation. And this is arguably the most important piece of branding, period. How are you different? And they're kind of related to your audience. You know, these are similar. I think about our differentiation is things we can say about ourselves that are validated experiences that you have that somebody else doesn't have.
Yes.
So do you speak another language?
Personally, yes, I do.
How many?
No, fluently, one other language fluently. So I have 2 fluent. The others are just understanding, picking up words here and there.
Okay, like that's a differentiation, right? The fact that I have an MBA, that's part of my differentiation. Some people might be certified in, Six Sigma or, all these things, right? All these pieces that help us carve out our space.
Yes, that's true.
Right? And then lastly, what are you passionate about? What gives you energy and excitement? So for me, being able to talk to you today, being able to speak with women and to be able to tell my story and really help one other person maybe feel more confident and feel like they can share their voice because I'm sharing my voice, that I'm passionate about. That's why I quit corporate, because I couldn't really fulfill my passions of sharing my voice and speaking my truth. It wasn't letting me do that. So your skills, your audience, your differentiation, and your passion, all of those molded together become your personal brand. So when I'm workshopping, we'll go through those and then start to develop maybe a paragraph, a few sentences that explains who you are. So mine is Rachel B. Lee is a fearless brand marketing lady boss who helps people and businesses build their voice and personal brand so they can create influence, grow their confidence, and change the world.
Amazing. Thank you. We're in the MBA class here, aren't we?
Pretty much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so please share with our subscribers your design's approach to changing the world. I think you've discussed part of it. I can get what you're talking about. I don't know if you have any precise way of saying it, but I think we can pick up from different questions you've answered here and there. Yeah.
So how do I want to change the world, or can you be
your approach of changing the world?
Listen, my approach to changing the world is one conversation, one human connection at a time.
Amazing.
There's ways of scaling what we want to do. That's the beauty of social media and email and all the different pieces of marketing, where we can take our message and have it reach more people at one time.
Yeah.
But every single person that's been added to my following, every single email address has been earned. We've earned them through conversations, through invites. Like, I didn't just pay for a bunch of emails or do a bunch of ads. And for us, that's meaningful, because it means that we've been touching people in a way that they want to be a part of what we're creating. And so I think those human conversations and appreciating people, thanking people, that's how I'll achieve my mission. And it is how we can make the world hopefully a little bit better.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for breaking that down. How important is building a personal brand on LinkedIn, because you chose this platform? How important is it today?
Listen, there's only one business professional platform. That's LinkedIn. Like, that is where the higher household income is happening. That is where the top companies across the globe are recruiting talent and meeting their customers where they're at, right? This is where the business conversation is happening. Even if and it's not to say that Instagram or TikTok or these other platforms are not effective at reaching an audience, they absolutely are. A business conversation that can turn into an opportunity that you can actually validate somebody's background, it's only on LinkedIn. You go on Instagram, a lot of these platforms, you just really don't know how legit somebody is.
Yes, that's true. That's really true.
You don't. Yeah. But when I go onto LinkedIn, I can see all of the information. I have recommendations from real legit people that you can go check out their information. Right. And so I think that for me, not for everybody, but I believe that to be perceived in a professional manner and to be taken seriously, especially as a woman, that we must have a presence on LinkedIn. We have to. It's the only place that we can build a sort of business card, a real life business card that's interactive, showing all of my experiences, examples of my work.
Yes.
Content. So it's also 100% SEO driven. Everything we do on LinkedIn is 100% optimized for SEO. So it's going to show up on the biggest search tool in the world, Google, that every single person uses. So whatever I do on LinkedIn, have a great profile, content I put out there, articles, helps me show up better in my website, better on Google. So there's just a lot of strategic marketing efforts that LinkedIn allows for that. Unfortunately, Meta does not, and TikTok not quite. And whatever other platform, there's so many other platforms, right? But I'm just noting those three.
Yes, yes, that's true. Thank you for that. Thank you. So we all know how important LinkedIn is and in developing your personal brand, especially if you're going to aim for corporates, but also if you want to attract corporate maybe clients or partners or anything like that. So you have to be on LinkedIn. So thank you for that, Rachel. So the other thing we have here is that people are anxious about Web3. Could you please break it down? Because when we see Web3, I don't know, the brain goes in different, has different ways of perceiving it. And some people don't even want to have the conversation. It's something they don't know, and that's the end of the story. But here we are, we have the opportunity of having someone who talks about Web3. So break it down for us, please.
Yeah, sure. Great questions. So when the internet, World Wide Web and internet and dial-up, remember when that happened about 30, whatever years ago, the internet was invented, about 50 years ago, and World Wide Web. The point is, wasn't that long ago that all of this came out?
Yeah.
And people were very skeptical then, right? What is this? I don't go to a phone book anymore. Right? We have the yellow pages that was here, right? So like, we know that the advent of new technology is always kind of scary and a lot of speculation when things come out because we're not used to it. So that, let's just like rest easy that that's what happens during innovation cycles. And the pace of innovation and technological innovation is just happening so rapidly right now, Stella. Never in our history have we seen a pace of change this fast. Really, we've had more change and transformation in the last 30 years than in the last hundreds of years, right? So it is a lot for nearly 8 billion people, on the planet to absorb, especially when not everyone has a cell phone and not everyone has great internet, right? Like we're still not fully there. Web 1 was the first version of the web. And this was those very static pages. There was no interaction. It's just pretty much information on a page. I like to think about like Encyclopedia Britannica, really static, simplistic internet. Then we evolved to where we are today mostly, and that's Web 2. And this is a much more interactive web experience. This is a two-way conversation, right? There's a website interactivity, there's advertising, ad units, videos, all of that happening. However, in the Web 2 world, we are the users of the internet. We are being used. There are several companies that own all of our data. There's all the tracking, all the logged in experiences, all of the things that we've heard, right? Legalities, hacking, all of it that continues to happen. Because a few big monopolies are really owning our experience on the internet. And so Web3 is the evolution of where we are today, where it's more decentralized, and you're going to hear that a lot. So think about today, centralized. Google, I log into my Google experience, right? Google knows everything about you, like, let's be honest. Facebook, they have all your information. I'm sorry, they do. Like, you logged into everything at this point. And those companies own your data, they own it. In a decentralized Web3 world, we're using wallets and other modalities on the blockchain so that we have more ownership of everything that we're doing. It's the blockchain is basically this open ledger. Everything is transparent. With my wallet here, you could see everything that I'm doing. It's an open, transparent space, but it's my information. I have a wallet and I'm protecting that. Now, let me remind you, it's very clunky right now. It's a little bit like the Wild Wild West. I wasn't here when the internet, like, it wasn't really, you know, where I am today when the internet first came out, but that's where we are today, right? When it was like, imagine dial up. That's where it is in Web3 right now.
Yeah.
And so pieces of this blockchain technology, which is a technology that's been around for years, things that are coming forth out of that are a currency, cryptocurrencies. So money, digital money, instead of cash money, digital money, NFTs, non-fungible tokens. What does that mean? It means a piece of digital asset, like it's just on the blockchain, just a digital asset. The big thing with, you know, Web3, I think that people need to everyone needs to be learning about it, is that it is absolutely going to shake up our world today.
Yes.
The experiences you're having today are not going to be the experiences in 10 years. Sure. With a world of more decentralization, I don't think we're going to completely move into this decentralized world. I honestly think if there was a complete decentralization, I'm not sure how governments and structures would work, to be honest.
Yeah.
In this new world, you know, people, which kind of goes back into this whole conversation, are really at the heart of their data, of their world. Community is an important piece of Web3. Being part of projects is about saying, I really love what Stella is doing, and I want to be a part of that journey, and not just be a part of it. I want to have ownership of it. I want to have a say in where it goes. That's what some of the beauty of the coins, some of the beauty of NFTs and Discord communities and all these things is that you're actually part of these roadmaps and creations, versus companies kind of just having full control over your data and of what happens, which is why so many people are very excited about Web3. They're excited about, you know, a lot of marginalized people not being able across the world, not being able to get a bank account.
Yeah.
How many people can't get a bank account because of whatever reason? Well, you don't need that. You don't need to go to a bank and your credit score doesn't really matter. If you have a wallet, and you have, like, you're able to have a place to get money and buy things.
Yeah.
So I'm like really mind blown when I think of all of the things in our world right now. We have a lot of intermediaries. Buying a house, you have title companies, mortgage companies, all these people. That can all go away. I want to buy your house. I have my money. I send you my money. You send me the NFT, the title. That's it. We're done. Like, it's a crazy thing, right? Like, right now, you have your Amex, your Visa.
Yeah.
Right? And you get fees and all that stuff. But like, you don't need technically that. If I just go into a store, I just take it from my literal wallet into your wallet.
Yes.
No credit card needed.
That's true.
Those that systematically we're not close to that at all. And there's a lot of what will be very interesting is the government regulation, right? There's still a reason we have systems in place, right? To stop bad actors, to have inclusivity and equity and equality and all of those things. So it'll be very interesting over the next 10, 20 plus years to see where this goes, but it's happening. So we can't ignore it.
Good. Thank you. You've really broken it down. And I'm sure just like myself, I'm sure all our subscribers will learn what Web3 is about. And you need to just get involved because this is happening, this is for real. And yeah, you've done great helping us with opening up our minds, but we have to just take the step of embracing it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we're helping people do that, right? That's why we have our Standout Authority coin, and we have our community that's on Discord, and so many people. We are the first Discord that they've been a part of. We're the first wallet that because our coin is on Solana, so they have to get their first Phantom wallet and their first coin. And so we love that. We love being able to bring people into this and learn with us as we're learning.
That's great. That's really great. Yeah. So for all those who want to actually get more experience with Web3, there you are, the person to contact here. Okay, great. This particular issue is about leadership, Rachel, and we would like to know, as a person who's really performing at the top, how you define leadership. How do you define leadership?
Ooh, good question. I define leadership as vision, vision and team and purpose, and being all of us are leaders, right? The question is, are you going to create a vision, work with the team and other people to create that, and do it so that there's purpose and serves in a way that's in integrity and inclusive and making the world better, not worse. And I think that's what true leadership is about, love and community and really being, in service and in integrity.
In service and integrity. Thank you. Thank you for the great definition. And if you look at, I think you've defined the qualities. That's, I think in defining the leadership, you're talking about also the qualities. Could you be more specific in terms of qualities of great leaders? What are the qualities of those you call great leaders?
Absolutely. I think great leaders are great listeners. Being a leader is listening more than you speak. It's leading by example. It's not just saying what to do, but to be what you want others to do, right?
Yeah. Wow.
And empathy, right? There's this balance of holding a vision, but also taking action on it, right? Having the vision, and then actually there's a difference between the action takers, right? And those that just say things. And so I'm just so big on follow up. And if you say something, you do it.
You go out and do it. That's great. And what's your leadership style?
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's all. I know there's some official leadership styles that are sort of slipping, Democrat. I think that there's a few official terms for leadership styles. I think what matters, I don't have a specific word that I'm thinking of, Stella, so it's just slipping my head, but I think about just collaborative, being able to set clear direction, set the strategy, but then being collaborative in how it happens, and adaptable, like being ready to shift and change.
Being ready, adaptable, yes, being ready to shift and change. Amazing. Thank you very much. So having your experience in all these amazing organizations like Microsoft, what do you think hinders women from becoming the great leaders that they are meant to be?
What stops them or what gets them to be?
Or what stops them? What hinders them from becoming great leaders?
I think it is a confidence and a self-worth issue and challenge more than anything. We got a long ways to go as women. We do. I mean, it's only been in this last, 50, 60 years that women really started to enter the workforce.
That's true. Yeah.
That's not much time.
No.
It's like, and the neurons run deep. And what I mean by that is generations before us are still part of us. And so I think that for women, we don't believe that we're worthy or capable of not just the men, but of anybody around us. You know what I mean? It's like we're comparing and we're judging and we're imposter syndroming and overthinking, and all of that ultimately stops us from believing in the impossible.
That's true.
Like,
that's very true. It's relatable.
Yeah. And so if we can just know that we're capable of anything and everything, and make that ask for more money, apply to the job that you don't have any of the qualifications, like just get past that, like, fear. I mean, we're fearless, but courageous. Like Brene Brown, right? Says it's just courageous leadership and bravery, because it's very uncomfortable to step outside of our programming and all of that. It's very uncomfortable. But over time, the more we do it, the more our confidence builds. The engines start to run, we get more confident, we get more opportunities, then we fight another fear, and we're like, okay, we're going.
I've had to take a deep breath over that, because I was just thinking through everything you're saying. I'm becoming what you're saying. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you very much. As we go through this very quickly, and I want us to know, who's the great leader that inspires you, man or woman, whoever, who's that great leader that really inspires you? It could be one or two or more.
Like, name a leader that really inspires me.
Yes, it inspires you. Yes. A name of a leader that inspires you.
I mean, I think this might be a lame answer because it's so obvious, but I just absolutely love Michelle Obama. She is real, vulnerable, authentic, and she lives in integrity. She's saying and doing the hard things, and it's making a big difference. So I love her.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. And what future do you envision for women?
What do I envision?
Yes. the future for women, yes.
Just so much opportunity. I see a world that, you know, women can be and do the both and. Women can be a mother and have a 6, 7, 8 figure job, company, 8, 9, you know what I mean? Like right now, I just feel like we live in this world where it's like, you don't get to be a mom and a daughter and a this and a that. It's like, it's just, and life is a series of choices. I do think that many women have it harder to make these choices just inherently by way we've been brought up, all the things, socioeconomics. So I really see a future where women are able to have more integrated lives, where possibility is leading their vision versus responsibility. And all that, what that means is more money and more hands of women. We need more money to get the childcare so that we can do our job, right? We need more money so we can get more support at home because we can't clean the house and answer the emails.
That's very true.
You know, like we need all of it, you know, we need help with all of those things, that so many things fall on women. And we just need more support. And what I think that means more money in more women's hands, more women at every single table, in executive leadership, in internships, in everything, top to bottom, you know? So, but it means that women are gonna need to be seen and be heard. Thus, you see me being seen and heard and believing in the possibility, because if I don't do it, who else? How else are we going to get there?
Thank you. Thank you very much. And what is your ideal stellar woman attributes? What are your ideal stellar woman attributes?
Ooh, ideal stellar woman attributes. Vulnerable, authentic, powerful, loving, compassionate, peaceful. Yeah, I think those are some.
Great ones.
Good. I feel good with those ones.
We can go with those ones. Yes, they're already challenging. It's already challenging us to be that woman. So most women would struggle to think that you are there, maybe the path. Your path has been easy. Maybe most likely we can create a story around you. Have you struggled at anything? Of course, you told us about IVF, but in terms of business, have you failed at anything? Because some women fail and stop and think, you know, this is impossible for me. But when they hear a successful woman like yourself going through different challenges or struggling or having struggled or struggled at some point, then they're able to see that they can do it themselves as well. Have you failed at anything around business? Around business.
I wish I could say I didn't fail and got to where I am. I can't think of one instance of my quote unquote success not having multiple failures to get there, right? Before I got the internship and job opportunity at Microsoft, I interviewed probably with 15 different companies and God knows. No, every time, right? Till I got the one. And that's all that mattered, right?
Yeah.
Being, you know, if we wanted in business, I work with my husband now. And so there is a lot of ego that comes in being a leader and being a partner. business partner and a wife and all these things, right?
That's it.
I think
Yeah.
my ego, right? And my desires for myself and what I want to create and not listening have definitely held back some opportunities for us. And it's okay. It's okay because I'm learning, and I don't really think there's such thing as failure. I just think of every single thing as a learning opportunity.
As a learning opportunity, yeah.
I've had 4 attempts to transfer a baby. I haven't transferred one yet because my body is not ready for it. And it's hard.
It's really hard, yeah.
I mean, it sucks, but every time it's kind of like, okay, what, Oprah says this, like, she'll say, what is here for me? What is here for me to learn?
Yes.
And I really use that in every single part of my life when I'm getting super frustrated with a colleague and the communication gaps. Like, what did I do wrong here? Like, what is here? Like something, what is here for me to learn? So I just think that that's how we have to approach every part of our life.
That's great. You've just crisscrossed one area to the other, but you've just taken a lesson from one part, life, personal life to business life. What is here for me? And that really answers the next question I really had for you. So what inspires you to be the lady boss that you are with all those things going on, balancing it with your husband, balancing it with the teenagers, or the preteen and teenage, balancing it with the business, and then IVF, getting a child. What inspires you to be the woman that you are? Because some people could be lying in bed, giving up. What makes you be the woman you are?
I just feel like I get to be a light worker, that I'm destined for something more on this planet, and that I don't know why, but it's just instinctively, like instinctively knowing that there's something I get to serve in a bigger way and to help other people along that journey. And that if I'm going through it, somebody else is going through it. And that in my vulnerability and authenticity, somebody else gets to be. And like, we really, really need that. There is a lot of pain going on in this planet. Like, it's not in a good place. And so if I truly believe, if not me, who? And it doesn't matter how many followers you have, doesn't matter how much money you have, like every single one of us gets to choose to be a good person. And if we all had that mission, we'd have a more peaceful world. So that's what really inspires me.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You believe you have a purpose, but you've also said something, if not me, then who? I think if we ask ourselves that question every other day, we'll keep moving and we shall leave a positive impact in the world. That is great. But you also talked about sharing your story, your vulnerability, and that's related with what Michelle Obama did with the IVF, and lots of women really related with that, with her personal life. I know we are really tight on time, and Rachel, you have to go. What would you tell your younger self? What would you tell your younger self, 14-year-old self? If you phoned her today, what key message would you give that little girl?
You are good enough. You are good enough. And keep going.
Keep going, keep going. Fantastic. Now leave one challenge for the Stellar Women subscribers to make them great leaders that they're meant to be. What challenge would you leave them?
I challenge them to post on LinkedIn, update their LinkedIn profile,
Okay.
and to post every week, like something every day, and comment on something every day.
That's a great challenge for building our personal brand strategy. Thank you very much, Rachel. And I know I've extended the time. I'm so grateful for your time. I'm grateful for your team for making you stay here with us and share your story and your experience and your knowledge with us. It has been a pleasure really, really having you here, and an honor as well. Thank you very much. And I'm going to have to wish you well. Thank you. And this is the Stellar Woman Magazine. We bring you thriving women's stories, knowledge, and experiences so that you too can learn one or two things. I'm sure you're going to learn something. I've just been in an MBA class, you can see. And from here, we can change the world. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Stella.